Kyle. We're at Bonking Skate Park, and today I'm going to teach you guys the hack to catching air. So whether you're airing over a spine, you're doing a front side, a backside air in a flat wall, you're hitting a hip, or you're even doing a fly out, there are many things that one person can do to catch air. And I want to show you guys some of the most important things you guys can do so you can go out there and catch air too. So one of the first things a person can do when they're trying to catch air is sucking up your legs, like that vacuum technique. You know, you might already know how to do a front side air or a backside air or any air off a hip or a fly out, but one thing a person can do to really heighten their air or, you know, go higher, so to say, is to bend up their knees. Sucking up your legs will bring the board with you so you can go higher. And that goes for any type of transition, you know, whether you're on small, big transition, a hip, any sort of obstacle. So sucking up your legs is a big thing and important skill to have when doing airs. One of the biggest factors to catching air on transition is the amount of speed you have. Speed is your friend when you're trying to do air. If you have little speed, you're gonna have little momentum in getting that air. So the more speed that you have going into the air will allow you to go higher. So by bending your knees, as I said before, and giving speed when you're going into an air or off a hip, that will allow you to catch more air. Doing airs over hips, kind of like that one right there, it's really good to kind of treat it like a fly out. And in that, I mean, you don't really have to ollie for a hip. You can ollie for a hip if you want to kind of go straight up and down, but if you're trying to, you know, go high, you're going to really want to just bonk off the lip and let the board come to your hand. You know, you suck up your legs and let the board come to your hand, whether you're going front side, back side, it doesn't matter. You do that, and that's going to allow you to catch higher air. So I guess that's a big hack to doing airs, is letting the board come to your hand, sucking up your knees and letting the board come to your hand. Something I'm learning with airs, and I still learn it to this day even after 20 years of skating, is that doing the ollie closer to the coping is going to allow you to get more launch. So, you know, it's good to bonk off the coping and go fast, but popping a little ollie right as your back wheels leave the coping, you kind of ollie off the coping, then you're going to really project yourself going upward. And if you do, you know, suck up your legs and bring the board to your hand, you know, you're just going to keep going. So that's something you guys got to remember with doing airs, whether it's front side or back side. So some other hacks to helping you catch air, or things that helped me when I first started doing airs on transition, is I would start by bonking off the coping. It's easier to bonk off the coping if you're on a flat wall, if you're on some quarter pipe with vert, because it has that transition, the vert in there to allow you to land back into transition without hanging up on the coping. But another way to, you know, bonk off the coping and still catch a lot of air is by hitting a hip, because a hip in a sense is like a fly out, except you're landing back in the quarter pipe versus landing on the deck. So, you know, going fast, sucking up your legs, and bonking off the coping with a lot of speed will allow you to catch air higher when you're on hips or on quarter pipes with vert. on things like that have more vert, kind of like that hip I was just airing right there. It's vert at the end of the hip, so it's a lot easier to just pop off the coping than it is to just ollie before, because you ollie before, and with all that vert right there, it's going to kind of just throw your body different ways. So when you're doing steeper hips like that, just launch off the coping like a fly out, suck your legs up, and try to land back into as much transition as you can, because that's how you're going to get the speed coming out. Really good to spot where you're going. So if you're going off a hip, you're gonna spot like the point where you're gonna take off. So that is also a hack. Like look at where you're gonna take off and also look where you're gonna land. Because if you're not spotting your landing, you might hang up, you might land flat. And if you don't spot where you're gonna take off, that's really like the major thing and how high you're gonna go. It's kind of geometry. You gotta like set up a lot of speed and just kind of see where, you know, where you're gonna be flying off the hip. Well guys, I hope you all learned something from our how to catch air on a skateboard video. You know, popping before the coping helps on smaller transition. You know, going off the coping, letting the board come to your hands on bigger transition really helps. And just having a lot of speed. So get out there and get you guys some air. See you guys next week.